Weren't they great? We missed them, but I'll tell you, they knew nothing when we showed up at their studio. And it's funny, they trusted us implicitly, which is bizarre because I think if you look up, if you literally type Matt Johnson in Google, the first thing you will see is articles telling you, do not trust this person. And they did. And to their credit, they had no script. We barely told them what to say. We told them the setup. And what you're watching in this movie is Roz and Mocha just figuring it out. And to me, it's one of the best scenes in the whole film.
Well, it speaks to how lovable and professional they are.
They're so good. They're pros.
Yeah.
They're pros.
And now we will be...
I have more to say about Roz and Mocha. You know what? In the spirit of thanking people for helping this, since we're in Toronto, and this is the big Toronto premiere of the film, I will thank another person who is hugely responsible for this film existing. And if you don't know this, the only reason that we were allowed to make this movie is because the movie I made before this, Blackberry, was enough of a success that I was able to make a project this ridiculous. And although he's not here, Jay Baruchel was the #1 supporter of the film Blackberry. And even when that movie was crashing and burning and like there was no chance it was ever going to get made, he was like, no, I'm still going to do this, don't worry. And it is literally because of Ontario-born Baruchel that this movie exists, and that is not an exaggeration. That's literally. Thank you so much. Literally
He is here. He's right here.
Jay's right there.
Hand is on.
Well, anyway, it's literally all because of you. Thank you so much. Anyway, we will, since now the movie's coming out, we will tell you anything, how we did any of this stuff. We don't care. We'll literally admit to anything, except we will not tell you how we shot that thing with the CN Tower. That's the only thing that we can't fully explain until the movie is in theaters next Friday. But once it's in, we will do a whole documentary about how we did that. It was months of work. You have no idea how hard that was. I mean, obviously, it's ridiculous. But to you people here in Toronto, I'm sure you're watching this being like, there's no way. But I will tell you, that really is Jay and I up on the edge walk, and that is legitimately a tour guide filming it with a GoPro on their head who has no clue what is going on. So, more to be revealed later.
More on that later.
Yeah, anyway, does anybody have any questions about what you just watched? You right there at the front.
First off, I just want to say I love the movie, and I genuinely want to know, while you were filming this and going out just like guerrilla style, did you guys get in like trouble for anything you did, or did you kind of just like stop it and just go?
I'll tell you, so if you guys couldn't hear, the question was, did we ever get in trouble for filming this? Jay and I have recently just got back from screening this movie all over America, and I will tell you, Americans, when they watch this movie, it's like a sci-fi film. Our country is like a sci-fi premise to them. They're like, so the police up there, they don't care. And you guys, what, like, you're allowed to do whatever you want, there's no laws? And they
Walking across every street.
I remember 2 Germans came up to me after the world premiere in South by Southwest, and they were like, young German filmmakers, they're like, this movie, oh my God, how did you do this? And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll tell you anything. What do you want to know? Your fellow filmmakers. Okay, first, how did you do all this jaywalking? Like blew their minds how much jaywalking goes on in Toronto. And I had to explain, that's nothing to us. In Toronto, I think American cities, especially in like the southern United States, they are not used to the pedestrians just controlling everything. That we just walk through any street we want, any intersection, whatever. It's one of the things I love about this city. I'm not recommending you do that. But in terms of did we ever like meet any
We get
resistance?
in some trouble,
Well-
but it was never really like trouble. It was more like,
What are you guys doing?
We would confuse people, and anyone in authority would probably be like, "Can you guys just?" And we're like, "Yeah, we're almost done," because we shoot in like small pieces, and then we would just be gone before they could escalate the situation.
I got a good example. The worst it ever got was when we were running that cable
Yeah, that
from the
was-
CN Tower through the city.
They didn't like that contraption
No,
near the CN
because
Tower.
I think it looked like we were like They were looking at us like we were spy versus spy, and they thought maybe there was a bomb at one end of this thing because we're moving away and the cable keeps going behind us. So that was the only time that they would be like, whatever you're doing, this has to stop. And we would say, what do you think we're doing? And they would say, we don't know. But whatever it is, we can't let you continue. And so that would be, again, trouble would basically just be like, move along. Because I mean, you guys just saw the film. When you watch these guys do anything, you don't feel mad, you kind of feel sorry for them. You're like, don't you know, that's never gonna work. Like, whatever you're doing, you guys are so stupid. Well, just let them go. Like, what are we gonna tell them? When I had to jump off the streetcar, remember at the end, you guys just saw it at the end where I've got the parachute, and then I jump off, then I have to jump off the TTC rail onto the street. That was another time when I thought, oh, the cops are going to stop us for sure, but no. There were police officers working with a construction team.
Well, it was also police everywhere because that night was a
Taylor
Swift
Swift
concert and the Mike Tyson Logan Paul fight. So there were police everywhere, and we would look down the street, and they would eye us, and they'd see Matt up on the subway platform, and they'd see him just not really fucking around, but up there, and they were like, we're just gonna see where this goes.
It's a little bit like that scene in The Town where all of the bank robbers show up with the M16 and the mask, and the Boston cop kind of looks at them, and it's like, it's not worth my trouble. It's the Canadian version of that. Yeah, our version of having an M16 and robbing a bank is me on top of a TTC stanchion. Yeah, next question. Way over there. Yeah, you're right there, yeah. Selfishly, it's literally moments like this. Making this movie was so hard. I'm sure it's evident that it's like what we shot the movie for 200 days, and it's painful. It's not fun making this movie. Like, I mean, I know that seems like a punchline, but really, you're working with like your 6 or 7 closest friends. Every day is a struggle. You're trying so desperately to get it, and it's because we are anticipating that if we do it right, then people specifically from this city are going to be happy. We know that we're going to be able to screen it for people here, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe these guys worked this hard on this. Because this is the only like gratification that you ever get as a filmmaker, is getting to screen it for people who you hope see the world the way you do. And this is one of those rare projects where the people who do like it a lot, and the people who don't like it hate it so much that they would see you people enjoy this and be like, well, you people are all stupid.
Sure.
I know it for sure.
Okay.
There are people who, and I've been there before, where they'll sit down. Okay, so we're about to do a huge experiment. And Neon, who's releasing this film in the States, somehow talked all the movie theaters into making this the like national secret screening that's about to happen. I think, oh wait, I can't admit this, can I? Oh, I'm not allowed to say this, fuck. Anyway, let's just pretend that you did not plan to see this movie, and you sat down to watch a movie that was gonna be like a Hollywood blockbuster. And instead you saw this. I imagine there's gonna be some people who are gonna think that they were the victim of like a Nirvana the band level prank.
That's like with any movie.
No, Jay.
I know.
Any questions from back there? Yes, yeah.
You said in this movie that it's going to be a copyright nightmare to release it. How did you get it out?
You know, boy, I said that thing knowing that it was just going to get a laugh.
Yeah, but also at that point, we had not cleared like anything.
Yeah, but we knew.
We knew we were.
What do you mean cleared anything?
Well,
we still haven't cleared anything.
We didn't know about the music. We didn't know about the parody. Like, all the marketing materials have been a nightmare. Like, there's been a lot of obstacles, and this is the result of where we got. But we did shoot for even more copyright nightmare stuff. But
it's still a tangled nightmare. You know, when I say that, I'm speaking from the perspective of a naive, non-filmmaker who hasn't been making copyright infringing content. Believe it or not, there's more copyright infringement in BlackBerry than there is in this movie. If you want to have your mind blown. Like Chris Perez, because he's our lawyer, who I talk to constantly about these things. At the end of this, I was like, wow, this was a crazy one. And he was just quiet for about 5 seconds. He said, BlackBerry was much worse. And I went, damn, oh, okay. We enjoy the fact that we can use these modern laws to make movies where you can show the world as it is. There's nothing I love more than when you see a movie and in the movie they're watching a movie. And it's not some fake movie that they had to create where they can play with the same toys that I played with when I was a kid. I don't know why. I care more about that than anything else in a movie, that it deals with the cultural artifacts and the things that I grew up with, specifically in Ontario. Like the commercials I saw watching CFMT or YTV, or like the toys I wanted at Christmas. Like I want to see that stuff in movies. And maybe it's just because I'm trapped at that time, like this movie deals with. But I don't know. They have a certain magic to them. Is everybody here from Ontario? This is a special place. You know, there's more euchre players in Ontario than anywhere else in the world. We basically own that game. The Dutch brought it, but then we stole it. Next question. Yes, right there. How did we work with our younger selves? It was not easy because they were petulant. They didn't listen to notes. They were like, "What's the point? Like, this is so stupid. We're not going to see this for 20 years."
Our editors did the painstaking task of going through all of our old tapes of the web series that we shot, and we shot tons of stuff when we were figuring this show out for the first time. And they went through and picked out little tiny moments and pieces that they could basically then cast the old us to react off of them. Like they built that whole 2008 sequence. And we also had our production designers, Carrie Noonan and Malcolm McKenzie, build our old apartment in a studio with every single detail. So if you want to, just to answer your question before too, but like what was one of the most, fun things about this to shoot was stepping into an apartment that you had this crazy era of your life, and you can just go into it exactly as it was, like a real time machine. It was insane. I hadn't stepped in there in like 15 years. And then we did that, and we had body doubles too. And well, we had a lot of tricks that we're going to show on the Blu-ray that we're going to release.
But I wonder if at the heart of your question, if everybody knows that is just footage that we shot in Toronto when we were kids. Like all that 2008, the scene girls walking up and down Queen Street, like that is
a lot
just
of
real footage
2008 Toronto in there.
that we filmed outside the Rivoli when we were young and never thought we'd do anything with. And so that crazy shot when we first saw it, I'm not sure if you remember it, but we opened the movie with it. It's when I put my arm around Jay and I go, "Jay, I think things are gonna work out for us." And then in the same shot, we walk down Queen Street and say, "Hey, does that guy look like me?" "No, that guy, he looks like me." As soon as Kurt and Bobby, our editors, showed us that clip, we were like, we will build the whole movie around this. Because it was like, oh my gosh, we can use it twice. That means that we see our young selves. It's like it started writing the movie for us. And this is just one of those lucky things that happens if you make the same stupid show for 20 years, that you wind up getting lucky once. Yes, right there.
A question about orbits. As I remember, around 2008, you could still find it in like some weird places. I distinctly remember Fiesta Farm.
And in Markham.
Yeah. And like, the great bit in your apartment. Like, was this based around a personal story of you hoarding orbits all this time?
No, I should give a call out here. The chemical food designer who made all of our orbits in this movie is in this theater right now. Say it up, Stu. Are you here? What goes in the orbits? What's on the special soul of an orbit?
A bunch of food grade chemicals and stabilizers, and I was telling Matt, the producer, I had to like Google Translate a recipe I found from a different country and tested it about like 30 or 40 times, and then boom, we got it.
I had to drink about, because in the original script of the movie, my character drinks a lot of this stuff, and so the producers were making sure, okay, I don't want you to die. He's a wizard. I loved it. It was delicious. Every ounce of that stuff that I ingested. And I'm fine. Look at me. So you asked, what was the connection? When I was a kid, at the corner Jay and I grew up very close to one another. Well, I got him from Max Milk. And I would go to Max Milk in San Francesco's and get a slice, and you could get a slice and pop for $2. But if you didn't want the pop, they'd give it to you for $1.50, and you could go next door and buy an Orbitz. And I did this religiously until I realized after about a year I'm gonna die. And so I'd always loved this drink. I consider it the original food entertainment. It predated bubble tea in North America, other than like in Vancouver on the West Coast. And it's a Canadian product. It's one of those.
It's not a good drink.
I love the drink. It's funny. It's like, not to make a BlackBerry comparison, but it is like one of these products that penetrated into the United States. In Michigan they had it, and then all of a sudden, gone. And so we wish that in 2008 it was still widely available, because it would have made the characters' journey so much easier. But they couldn't find it. And so there's a really, really amazing sequence that we shot but never used of us going into Chinatown to find Orbitz. But I won't tell the story now, it's too ridiculous and long.
Ridiculous long story.
But it's a great trick if you guys are ever making a time travel movie and you want to really like get great acting from a bunch of people. Go in, buy something, make a big deal about buying it, leave, come back 30 seconds later looking really like sweaty, and be like, okay, we're looking for this product. And then everybody's gonna say, you were just here. And then you look at your partner and go, oh, we were just here.
So you did tell a very, very quick
Very
version
abbreviated.
of that story.
Very abbreviated. Anyway, it worked like a charm, but we didn't have the runtime. Next question, right back there. Yeah.
So there's like a billion things that are mystifying how you filmed it. So the biggest thing to me, or one of the small, the Detroit mansion scene.
We will happily explain that. So the question was, how did we shoot this scene, whereas all of you know you live here, right when Drake's bodyguard got shot by the real Kendrick Lamar? How is it that we were able
One
to...
of Kendrick's guys.
I think Kendrick pulled the trigger. And he was small. I think he was inside of a briefcase. And bang! And so we were just insanely lucky to bring it back to Razamoka. That was the day we were shooting the scene with them. And because they were a news show, they got it on the wire. Oh, there's been a shooting at Drake's house. And we were like, guys, we gotta go. So we just drove right to Drake's mansion. The cops let us in, and immediately Jay's had already dressed like famous Jay, so we're just filming. And what's so cool, if you guys have seen it, when the city of Toronto does one of those like news scrums, everyone knows one another. They're all so friendly. And so when we showed up, I'm talking to people, and they're like, oh yeah, you're the BlackBerry guy. And I was like, nice to meet you. We got to shoot this way. You're okay with that? They're like, we don't care. Like, no one even asked us what we were doing.
It was really bizarre.
We literally just started filming.
I started running away from the police as if I had committed murder. And it was shot at like 7 times. I was out of breath. I would get to the end of the street and I'd see the police just sort of, what is... And then I would just stop and just walk back, no problem. And then they'd be like, okay, that's fine, I guess.
But that is an example of something that we go out and shoot with no idea of how we're even going to use it. Like at that point, we weren't thinking, oh yeah, and then Jay shoots one of the Born Ruffians in the head. Like all of that happens backwards. And it's such a cool trick, the same thing that with that Brazilian girl who I see, and I'm like, oh yeah, we've never met each other before. And she's like, no, we haven't. That was true. But because it's cut in the opposite order, it just all seems real. This movie is 100 of those tricks where we just
hacked the time travel.
Yeah, it's like,
elements.
who would have thought? If you just shoot a
So many little
documentary
tricks.
backwards, everything seems like time travel.
Anything could be 2008 if you just frame out the modern cars and the earbuds.
So that is, if you really just isolate that moment, that is how we made the whole movie. It would be like, a few friends going out into Toronto, trying to film something, and then when they stumble on it, we all go back, Kurt and Bobby edit it together, and then we go, okay, how can we make a movie out of this? And this is just 1,000 examples of that. And with that, we can only thank you, Toronto. We think it's the best city in the world. Thank you so much for coming. And we're going to take a picture of everybody, but on a serious note, I will say that this movie screening here is so important for us because my whole life I wanted to make a movie that was 100% made within Canada. This is going to be a little bit boring, but most movies, we need to get money from the United States to make them. Blackberry was one of these movies. It's just a financial reality. And this was the first time I've ever been able to make a movie using only Canadian money because of Telephone and you're all a part of that. I know you didn't say yes, but that money was taken from you to pay for this. And if you like that, I feel some pride because you really did have a part in making this movie because of Telephone Canada. Literally, you guys all produced this. So thank you so much. I truly mean it. And now let's take a picture.